All right, let's go to the Cy-Hawk Trophy. And boy, this did not feel like it was going to go the Clones' way the entire game. But Iowa State pulls this out 20-19 over number 21, Iowa in Kinnick Stadium. The fourth straight time that this rivalry game has been won by the road team, 2 by Iowa and Ames, and now 2 by Iowa State in Iowa City. Guys, tale of two halves. And Trey, the TV crew even mentioned at half, I guess it was in the third quarter, at half, we didn't think that it was going to be necessary to play football in the second half. It was a 13-0 Iowa lead. The Hawkeyes had smothered the Cyclones offense. Iowa was getting exactly what they needed to on the ground. They weren't punching it into the end zone necessarily, but a 13-point margin against the Hawkeyes feels like, a 30-point margin against most teams, especially with how that defense was playing. Rocco Beck and company found a way in the second half, and ultimately they were the ones making plays down the stretch.
Yeah, and I had to chuckle at the comments from Brad and Gary because it was so obvious they'd never seen a Cy-Hawk game in their entire lives because it was playing out exactly like it always does. It's slow, and then something crazy is going to happen. And that something crazy was Iowa State woke up and just found a great game plan in the second half. The blocking scheme looked a lot better after halftime. They were able to run the ball consistently, and Rocco Beck at times just put the team on his back and said, we're going to win this ball game, especially down the stretch there. So thought Iowa got a little too conservative down the stretch, which, that's like the pot calling the kettle black. But, I thought there was a lot of opportunities for Iowa to ice that game away, and they just left them with a little too much time to kick a game-winning field goal there at the end. And Iowa State, to their credit, was happy to take advantage of that.
Cade McNamara threw 2 more interceptions. I just don't think that Iowa's offense is going to be all that much more improved this season with McNamara running the show. I don't have confidence in his decision-making. He's certainly not good at pushing the ball down the field. And even though Iowa was able to run the ball for massive chunks at a time, I mean, Iowa State couldn't defend the run against North Dakota last week. They really couldn't defend the run consistently against the Hawks, but boy, when they needed to bow up, they were the physical embodiment of bend, don't break. They kept forcing field goals from the Hawkeyes, and now Iowa State has a very quality win. They've got the rivalry trophy. They've got a ton of momentum, I feel like, as they get ready for Big 12 play. And we'll talk about in just a second. Oklahoma State struggled today. Kansas State struggled today. Iowa State's not going to be anybody's favorite. Utah might have lost Cam Rising again for an extended amount of time with a finger injury. Iowa State's not going to be anybody's favorite to get to Arlington. But if they can continue to win games in this fashion, there are no pictures in the scorecard, right? That's the saying in golf. There are going to be no visual criteria for who gets to Arlington and who doesn't. It's going to come down to wins and losses, and Iowa State might be one of those teams that can accumulate enough wins to play for a conference championship.
Gracious, how about that?